This is Myra Elaine on the Buying Space channel. I'm continuing my series about Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, which are the four Gospels, the first four books in the New Testament, and about the direct life of Jesus Christ. The entire Bible is about Jesus Christ, even the Torah and the Old Testament, because they're prophecies and events leading up to the birth of Christ that have had to happen in history and had to develop Israel as a nation, because Jesus Christ was a Jew and born into um, a family whose stepfather Joseph was of the line of David. He was born into the house of David, and his mother was from the family of Levites, and she had a brother-in-law who was a Levite priest and the father of John the Baptist. So we've read last time the parable of the seeds being strewn in different areas, on a pathway, on rocky soil, in weeds, and in fertile soil. And this week I'm continuing in Luke chapter 8 with the parable of the lamp. No one lights a lamp, then covers it up with a bowl or hides it under a bed. A lamp is placed on a stand where its light can be seen by all those who enter the house. For all that is secret will eventually be brought into the open, and everything that is concealed will be brought to light and made known to all. So pay attention to how you hear. To those who listen to my teaching, more understanding will be given. But for those who are not listening, even what they think they understand will be taken away from them. Don't believe everything you hear, and believe half of what you see. And what you are fed on a daily basis through media should be totally questioned. You should question everything. Now, once you question everything, you will come to conclusions. By saying question everything, I'm not saying don't believe everything. I'm not saying don't have faith. When I was young, I learned about questioning everything. The Kabbalah have a philosophy, or have a object lesson, that we are like in a little box in the middle of the universe, and in that little box we have a little square we can see through, and our perception is what we can see through that little hole. If you've read Plato, there's a parable about two men in a cave, and they're chained to a wall. They're captives. And there's a fire on the other side of like a half wall, and they can see the glow of that fire. And they can hear people talking on the other side of that wall, and they can see their shadows. That's their reality. If you live in China, you have no way to hear the gospel on their regular media. It's 2023, and I still believe to this day that the Chinese have very little way of hearing about Jesus Christ. So their media would not include any religious teachings that I'm aware of. Now, if I'm wrong about that, if that has changed, please let me know. Especially if you are Chinese or you're Asian Pacific and you lived in China or an Asian Pacific country for years, or you were brought up there. If that has changed for China, let me know in the comments. But we in the United States, where we're free to talk about the gospel, a lot of people, if there's not, you kind of have to make an effort to hear the gospel. You hear a lot of things contradictory to the gospel. And the devil's out there giving you every single solitary doubt about the existence of God and the life of Christ that he can. The truth will come out. A light will be shown. Every knee is going to bow to God in the end. And some people say that the end is near. The end of time is near. And with what's going on out there, I can't argue with it. I do say that it says in the Bible that the day and the hour are not known. And maybe things are going to get way, way, way worse. And maybe this will go on another 100 years. I have no way to know. And I wouldn't say, I'm not one of those Christians that says, okay, the world's going to end in 2012. Oh, the world's going to end in 2024 in March during the full moon. You're not going to hear that here. But things out there are very immoral, and our society is breaking down in ways that I didn't think I would see in my lifetime. And I can see where we are possibly near the end. And it's more important than ever that a light be shown. Do not put a basket over your testimony. Do not go around when you're around people that are not Christians and not be a Christian. You have to let your light shine. And I know that's hard. There are many times that I'm out in public and I'm a little afraid to say something. But I'll say something like, thank God. Somebody says something positive and I'll say, thank God. And then I gauge the reaction. But the problem is with me doing that, and I know there are probably other Christians out there that do that, is if I say that and I get a positive reaction and someone else says thank God, or somebody else indicates they're Christian, then I feel more comfortable to talk about God and Jesus Christ. But the thing is, Jesus Christ himself said the sick don't need a doctor. I mean, the people who are healthy don't need a doctor. The sick need a doctor. So if I'm out standing in line at the grocery store or whatever, I need to just go ahead and say thank God and just talk about God after that, unless somebody's acting like they're gonna beat me up. But because the people that aren't reacting positively to me saying that are just kind of like, we don't really want to hear from you, old woman, kind of attitude, are the people that need to hear it more. So I need to stop gauging, because I need to be who I am and demonstrate my faith and not be fearful, but be who I am as someone that's filled with Holy Spirit and not be afraid. I'm putting my light under a bushel sometimes because I'm afraid of social rejection. And social rejection from people, I'm going to be in the line in the grocery store one time, and then they got the rest of their lives. And if I say something, I might just plant a little seed, and then maybe something else will happen, and something else. I don't have to always, and you don't always, as a Christian, have to be the end-all and be-all that's going to save and baptize masses. No. We live as an example. And that plants a little seed, and we got to trust the Holy Spirit and God. that we are just part of that plan for other people to come to Christ. Now, if we get an opportunity to lead somebody to Christ, to take them to church, to get them baptized, absolutely we should do that. But it's not going to be that epic with every single person. Sometimes it's just saying, God bless you to somebody who maybe is having doubts about God's existence, or is just hearing too much on social media about all the negative things about the church and the history of Christianity. And, I could just go on and on about all the stuff that's out there that's being said. But if you're a Christian, you know the truth, and you need to share it. Especially during this time at the end of the year and the holiday season, the Christmas season. You all have a wonderful and blessed day.